Hi guys, it's Hannah and welcome to Pilates by Hannah. So today I wanted to run through some of my favourite ab workouts and how we can really switch on the core to give us just a really good solid foundation for the rest of our exercises. So if you want to meet me in the middle of the mat, I'm just going to do a few warm-ups. We're going to start on all fours with our shoulders stacked squarely. So we've got our shoulders over our elbows, over our wrists, our hands spread nice and wide, pressing down into the mat. And in our lower body, we've got our hips stacked squarely over our knees with a nice straight pelvis and a flat back. So when we're here, we want to just start with some cat-cows. So we're going to inhale, lift our head and our tailbone towards the ceiling. And exhale, round your back. Really draw your belly button in. See how much you can arch your back up to the ceiling. We'll just run through a few of these. So inhale. Exhale. Really pull apart your shoulder blades here to try and get some opening across the back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to introduce some side movement here. So if you bring your feet over to the left of your mat, and then we're going to curl our head round. We want to sort of be looking at our feet. And then you'll feel that stretch just coming down the side of the body. We take a few breaths here. Back to center, and then the opposite way. And you may find that one side is slightly stiffer than the other, and that's absolutely fine. And then back to center. If we sit back onto our feet, we're just going to bring in some more side flexion. So take an inhale, lift our right arm up, gently sweep it overhead across the body to the left-hand side. You can have your left hand on the mat just for some support. We'll just take some breaths here. And then we'll inhale, bring the arm back across the body, back down to the mat. We'll do it on the other side. So inhale, left arm up over the head, and bending the body round to that right hand side. And you'll feel that length coming into the side body there. Inhale, back to center. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start with some basics of core engagement. So if we meet in the middle of the mat, lying on our backs, the first thing that we want to make sure is that we've got our neutral spine. Neutral spine is something I ran through in my first video. What you want to do is if you rock your pelvis forwards and backwards slightly, you'll start to feel that the position of your pelvis influences how much of your spine is on the mat. So if we rock our hips forward, we'll feel that the full back really presses into the mat. This is called an imprint spine. If we then push our hips all the way backwards, we'll find that our back is arching away from the mat and none of it's touching. So neutral spine is the position between these two. So if you want to just do a few rocks, and then you'll find where's neutral for you. I also touched on core engagement in the first video, but I'll run through it again, seeing as this is going to be a predominantly abs video. In Pilates, when we think of core engagement, we want to think about bringing the core in, but also tucking it up and engaging the pelvic floor. So I like to think about it as if we're going to bring our belly button in towards our spine and then up as if we're going to tuck it behind the ribs. And that is a properly engaged core in Pilates. So the first thing that I want us to do is just start to switch on the core by just doing some really gentle roll-ups. Let's bring our hands to the front of the thighs, and all we're going to do is gently, we'll take an inhale here. As we exhale, we're going to curl our head and our shoulders off the mat, just running our hands up our thighs to our knees, and then return back to the mat as we inhale. Exhale, roll up, inhale, return back. So we'll just do a few of these in your own time. We'll do one more. Nice. So you start feeling some warmth coming into your core here. The next thing we're going to do is just move into some toe taps. So we're going to bring our legs to tabletop. So we'll take an inhale, lift our right leg up to 45, engage the core here. Take an inhale here, and as we exhale, bring our left leg up to that 90-degree angle. So when we've got our legs in tabletop, we want to make sure that we have a nice stacked foundation. So we've got our knees square over our hips, our pelvis flat against the floor, our core engaged. We don't want our tummy to be sort of mounding up. We want to make sure we've got a nice flat torso. And the other thing we want to think about is we want to make sure that it is a nice 90-degree angle in our hips. If we were to bring our knees towards our chest, that instantly disengages the core, makes it easier. So we want to make sure our knees are really square over our hips to engage the core. So we're going to start with some simple toe taps, again, just warming up the core. So if we bring our arms to the mat, palms down, all we're going to do is we're going to inhale. As we exhale, you're just going to take your right leg, lower your toe to the mat, tap it, and then bring it up on inhale. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And we'll just repeat on each side a few times. As we're doing this movement, you want to make sure that you're not compromising your core engagement and feeling it in the back. Really make sure you've got your core switched on as you're lifting and lowering those feet to the mat. So we'll just go for 6 here. 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. We can hug our knees into the chest. Just give ourselves a little bit of a rock from side to side. We're going to restack ourselves into that tabletop position. And what we're going to do now is introduce some more core work by lifting up our upper body as we're doing those taps. So what we'll do is just lie on the mat, get our neutral spine, our core engagement, and then we're going to lift our hands off the mat. Just bring your head and chest up so you're switching on your core. You want to make sure that you're almost looking beyond your knees, just straight. You've got a nice flat torso. We're going to do the exact same with the feet. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We'll just do a few in our own time here. We'll do 8 here, so 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return our head back to the mat, hands back to the mat. And again, you can just hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock. So that's a really nice movement to sort of switch on the core, start getting some warmth into that torso. From here, we're now going to go into single leg extensions, which again is a very similar exercise, but it starts bringing some length into the body and really targets those lower abs. So what we want to do is we want to find ourselves in tabletop. So lift one leg up to tabletop, engage the core, bring the belly button in and upwards to engage the pelvic floor, lift our left leg to tabletop. So for leg extensions, what we want to do is the basic movement, spine in neutral, core switched on, nice flat stomach. We're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to extend one leg out to 45 degrees. Inhale, bring it back in and swap sides. So exhale, leg to 45. Inhale. Exhale, leg to 45. Inhale. So we'll just run through a few of these in our own time. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Meet back in tabletop. If you want to advance it slightly, we can again lift our head and our chest off the mat, bring our arms off the mat, our palms facing inwards, and we repeat, holding this lifted crunch position. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return your head back down to the mat, and you can lower your legs back down to the floor. Just give your hips a bit of a roll back and forth here. Just releases any tension you might have been holding into the spine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take that exercise we've just done and we're going to up the tempo a little bit. So let's bring our legs back into tabletop. And for this move, we take the same single leg extension, but instead of leaving the other leg in tabletop, what we actually want to do is draw it into our chest. So we're going to lift our head and our chest off the floor. If we extend the right leg first, the left leg is actually going to come up into the chest and you're going to catch your knee in your hands. So this is our starting position. And what we're going to do, it's quite a quick movement. So you want to pick a leg that's going to be your exhale and then the other leg will be your inhale. So for example, if my right leg is my exhale, I will go exhale, inhale, change, exhale, change. Inhale, change. Exhale, change. Inhale. So we really want to make sure in this movement that our core is tight throughout the whole movement. We've got that nice, flat, solid base. So what we'll do is we'll go for 8 here. It's quite a quick movement, but do it in your own time. So inhale to start, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs back to tabletop, head and chest back to the mat. Nice. So we should feel like we've got our heart rate pumping a little bit there. So the next thing I want us to do is just meet again in the middle of the mat in our 4-point position. So we've got shoulders stacked over elbows and wrists, hips square over our knees, pelvis straight, neutral spine, long back. From here we're going to go into our Superman variation. So we're going to take opposite arm and leg, extend them out and bring them back down as we inhale. So inhale, exhale, inhale, swap sides. Now when we're doing this movement, the slower the better. And we want to keep our spine and our pelvis as flat and as still as we can. We want to imagine that someone's balancing something, a bowl of water, and if we start moving our body, it's just going to fall. So really focus on that. It's not about how much height you can get here, because if my leg's too high, my belly's dropping, my back's arching. It's not about height. If you can only get it to there, that's absolutely fine. It's about switching on the core and keeping a nice, long, straight spine. So we'll just go for a few of these. Let's do 8 in our own time. So inhale. 1. Swap sides. 2. Let's get 2 more here. Nice. Now the next variation of this we're going to take is we're just going to stick on the one side to start with. So for me, I'm going to do my left arm and my right leg. So we inhale, we extend those up, and then we want to move them out away from the body at a 45-degree angle, return and bring them back to the mat. But we're just going to stick with that one side. So inhale, exhale, inhale here, exhale out to the side, inhale, return to the mat. So we'll just run through 8 of those in your own time. Again, it's really important to think about keeping that still spine and that still pelvis. If this is too much for you, just go to the simple lowering and lifting that we started with. Let's get 2 more here. 1 more. Nice. And let's swap onto the other side. So just going to start with an inhale here. Exhale, out away from the body, 45 degrees. Inhale, return back to the center and back to the mat. Inhale. And in. And again, we'll get 8 here. Again, really think about drawing our belly button up in towards the spine to create stability through the trunk for this movement, which will help us keep a really nice, still spine and pelvis. Let's get 2 more here. Nice. So the last movement that we're going to do within this Superman flow, again, we're going to just stick on the one side. So if we move back over to our left hand and our right foot, we're going to extend as we did the first time. And then we want to think about cactusing our arm out to the side whilst bringing our knee sort of to the outside of our right arm. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's get 8 here. Now this move is really engaging the obliques, and it's really forcing you to create stability because of that extra movement we're bringing in. Let's get 2 more here. Last one. Return down. We're just going to repeat on the other side. So, exhale, inhale, crunch. 2, 3, 4. 2 more. Last one. Return back to the mat. Open up your knees nice and wide. Sink your hips back. Extend your arms out in front of you. Just push back into a nice child's pose here. And just take a few breaths here. Let's bring it back onto our 4-point position. Just run through a few of those cat-cows. So inhale, forehead and tailbone to the ceiling. Exhale, belly button in and up, arched back, pulling our shoulder blades apart. Inhale. Exhale. And then again, let's bring our knees nice and wide, sink our hips back, arms out in front of us. Just find some stillness in this child's pose. And then we are done. So much joining me for that quick and easy beginners ab flow. Hope you enjoyed it.